Good morning, everybody. How you doing today? My name's Andrew.
I'm Lauren. I'm Autumn.
I'm Joel.
I'm Daniel.
I'm Grandpa.
I'm Matt.
I'm Megan. I'm Tracy.
And we're some of the Veggie Boys.
And girls.
And we'd like to thank you for stopping by. If it's not obvious, we've got a rainy day on our hands. So far this morning we got the farm market set up, and since it's raining, we've had to change some of our jobs around. One of the big jobs that we had scheduled today was picking peas, and the reason we were gonna do it today is because it's nice and cool. We didn't expect it to rain as much as it is. But there's always plenty to do even on a rainy day, and it looks like Dad has been working on cleaning up this morning. I mean, there's nothing wrong with picking in this weather. We've picked in it before, but it's not a lot of fun. You get wet, everyone gets cold, it's not good. In my previous video, we were getting this pen set up for these cows that Dad was getting from auction. Now we got these cows from auction, but we are gonna be feeding them for a couple months, probably 3 or 4 months, so we can get them to the desired size that we want. And we built this pen, and these cows are gonna stay in here for a little bit longer. We want to keep them by themselves. Our herd is healthy. We don't know if all these cows are healthy. So what we have is them down in our blue barn. They're going to be here for a little longer just to make sure none of them get shipping fever or any other sickness that they could give to our herd. So it's a little bit of a hassle coming down to this barn to feed them, but it's the safe thing to do. Hey, Dad, do you know what you call a cow on 2 legs?
Cows have 4 legs. What are you talking about?
Lean beef. Never mind. It doesn't seem like it's gonna stop raining anytime soon, so Daniel and Joel are gonna start cleaning out pens. By just looking at these pens, we don't have too big of a problem. They're nice and dry. The only time we really wanna pack is in winter, so when it starts to get cold outside, that the heat rises from underneath. But since we don't really need to worry about that, we're gonna clean these pens out. We had to move the calves so that we could clean the pen. We put them right out here where we feed. We put up a little gate so they don't run off. Because when the calves start running off, if it's just one, it's fine, they don't go too far. But when they have their buddies with them, they like to go travel. So we don't want them traveling. You gotta keep back. I'm gonna need the driver. You know, this rain is doing a lot of good. We've got a lot of vegetables planted, and I don't have to pick peas because of it. Starting to like this rain.
Like you guys are coming with me to the field. Bit of a gloomy day, but it's good. It's a good one. A little break from the heat wave we were getting. Nice. Now, I don't need to turn the lights on in the tractor when I'm going down the road, but it's raining. So I know most cars have their lights on, and for some reason, people don't necessarily understand when a tractor's coming down the road that you need to be watchful of what's behind it. Even though I'm not wider than the road, I don't want people zooming past me going a million miles an hour. So having as much lights on when I'm going down the road makes not only me safer, but it makes them safer because they can clearly see me and what I'm hauling. The tomatoes have absolutely exploded. They look incredible. They're huge. The peppers are also looking really nice. They're starting to get acclimated to their new soil and their new area. So there's a few things that I'm trying to keep in mind as I'm spreading manure here today. First things first, we're spreading it on level ground, so we don't have to worry about any runoff with the rain. Secondly, we don't want ruts. Ruts are really bad in the field for a lot of reasons. They create a channel for the water to run through the field and creates a soil erosion. Naturally, of course, we don't want that. But it also creates lots of divots in the field, which not only makes it harder for you to drive through it when you're planting or anything really, plowing, harvesting, but it also makes it harder for the seed because you're compacting the soil. So the soil is not aired, it's not fluffy, if you will. Doesn't mean it's impossible for a seed to germinate, just means it's a lot harder for a seed to germinate. Woo! That's pretty powerful, let me tell you. What the manure spreader is trying to do and what we try to do is we don't want clumps. We want a nice soft powder almost going across the soil. It creates a nice level of nitrogen and it mixes into the soil really nice, which gives the plants an excellent seed bed. I certainly hope you enjoyed your little trip with me flying along on Manure Airways. Here come the manure.
There was about a foot of packed manure in there that we took out, which dropped it down a lot. It's gonna be funny seeing how the cows look next to the feeders now. We got finished with lunch and then we had a few other jobs we were taking care of, and the boys are still cleaning out this pen over here. Get along, it's not that hard. You guys grew up together. Oh, you want your pets, huh? We had a few calves in here, but we moved all of them out to pasture. We're trying to get the cows to leave so that we can clean out their main pen. Sometimes it's a little bit of a struggle. Usually they're out in pasture all the time. Today they just don't want to leave. Come on.
That's a pretty big manure spreader. I mean the driver,
Not lefty.
not lefty.
You know what's funny? We used to have the door on the skid steer loader and we took it off because it was so hot. Now Daniel's loading manure without it on. Just ordered a new mount for the GoPro because just broke mine. Yeah, that's nice. I was just thinking to myself, you know, it's been a while since everybody has seen the vegetable plants. So I want to take you guys and show you how everything is growing. The first step is the peas. Now we were gonna come pick today, but we didn't because it was raining all day and we didn't want to be out in the wet. But there's a lot of peas here. We're just gonna look down, pull off some pods. As I was walking through, the sugar snap peas seem to be a little behind. We have some snow peas there, but our regular shell peas, they look great. I'm just gonna try these out quick. Let's just open it up here. Ooh, that looks good. Look at that. Oh my. How could something that tastes so good be so terrible to pick? I don't get it. So the peas look really good. Lauren's sunflowers, they're coming up really nice. We've got a few rows of red beets over here in the garden, and they're starting to get size to them already. We had some nice parsley here, but the rabbits ate it. Yeah. Now that we're out in the field, we've got a lot to look at. To start off, we have our kale. It's got a lot of nice size to it. We've already picked some for the farm market, and it sold really fast. Right after the kale, we have our broccoli, and this is what we're noticing a lot with our broccoli. A lot of small heads that are just starting to pop out. Oh, check it out. Look at that. We got a nice head of broccoli here ready to cut. We're known in the area for just growing like huge vegetables, and broccoli is something we've always done a great job with. However, our early broccoli never gets a lot of size to it. It always remains kind of smaller. Now we have some cauliflower. Now the cauliflower, this right here, I am noticing it's starting to wrap up. If you look down in there, you're starting to see the leaves wrap. And when you see the leaves starting to wrap, that means they're doing their best to protect that head of cauliflower. And then we have our cabbage, which we normally don't have a lot of success with our early cabbage. But if we look through and we see, a lot of them are already starting to make head. Now, a lot of the people that follow us are gardeners, but some of you aren't. So I'd like to just share something with you. When you're picking your cabbage, the best way to tell that it's ready to harvest is by how tight the leaves are and how hard it is. Because when those leaves are wrapped tight and the cabbage is nice and hard, it's not gonna get any bigger. So that's when you would harvest it. And then after our first and second planting, we have these plants we couldn't sell in the farm market. We planted them out here and they look great. And I think the sweet corn just speaks for itself with how nice it looks. As you can see, we're in our pollination phase. So that silk is gonna be catching a lot of this pollen. This is one of the most important times in this sweet corn's development, so we hope it goes smoothly. Our first planting of cucumbers and zucchini looks really good. The plants are starting to produce a lot of nice cucumbers. As we can see, if we get in close, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 that are producing on this plant from 9, 10, 11. So there is a lot of cucumbers being produced right now. And within the next 2 weeks, these entire layers of mulch will be covered with the plants from the cucumbers. It's amazing how fast they start to grow. It almost seems like they just take off. And then we have our zucchinis. They're really starting to produce as well. And then we have our tomatoes. They just look so good. And just because we have so many new people, I'm just gonna mention it, we don't stake our tomatoes. Now, if we only raised a few tomatoes, we probably would stake them. However, because we raise so many and there's so many other jobs to get accomplished on the farm, we just don't stake them. And our tomatoes always do very well. We've never had a problem with it. But if you are raising them in your garden, then I would stake them. We raise 4 types of eggplant. We raise a black eggplant, a striped eggplant, a white eggplant, and then we also do a Japanese eggplant. And then right after the eggplant is peppers. When it comes to the peppers, I could spend a lot of time talking about the varieties. So I'm just gonna mention that we plant both hot and sweet peppers. Some of the most popular peppers that we raise are the jalapenos, our bell peppers, and the habaneros and ghost chilies. And last but not least, we have our potatoes. They look really good. Last year, our potatoes did not do too well for us. We believe it was a problem with the planter, but we weren't sure. And we worked on it a little bit and we were able to fix what the problem was. And now our potatoes planted really nice. Woo! Oh, what are we having for dinner? Swiss steak. Grammy, do you want to tell them what we're having?
I think Matthew already did. Swiss steak, rice, fresh snap peas from the garden, and corn.
I need my pants! And supper's ready!
Interesting.
You guys put food on your plates first.
Do you see food on our plate?
Yeah, not this time. All right, guys, so we're gonna sit down and eat our dinner. That means this is where we're gonna end the video. We wanna thank everyone for watching and we hope to see you next time. Bye-bye. Bye.